Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm going to be working a little bit more on my Roxy Journal of Stitchery pouch. Now if you haven't seen my earlier videos, this is video number 3. My plan is to add to the trifold pouch that the girls have announced for the month some internal concertina little pouches. Now I've made up a mock-up on paper because I've seen these made. I've made a few myself, all in the journaling world. And I was just wondering if it could be applied to the fabric world. So I thought before I get too far ahead in construction, I really need to keep double checking that it's even going to work. Hence why I did the prototype, I guess too, so that you know what the hell I'm talking about. So what I've done is I invisible stitched my panel pieces all down from video number 2. I then went around and did a running stitch on selected pieces, and I also did some overcast stitch. So it's just the basics, just getting it all secure. So let me just bring that up to the camera so you can see. So whip stitch or overcast stitch or just running stitch. Whipped around the outside. Not everything is secure yet, but it's enough to, you know, hold everything in place. Now I do have some gaps here and here, but in my last video, I mentioned that I can see clusters of something going up through this zone. So we'll get to that next week when Rachel comes back and Sarah to show us what their plans are, and as there might be something there that I'd like to consider to add to this as well. So what I want to do today is double check the mechanics of this. Will it actually work? So I've gone and got myself the lining. Remember I had that French piece of fabric? So that is going to be the inside. I've done a rough tear to the size I need. That won't go on until I'm absolutely finished embellishing, decorating this. It's sort of the last thing to do. Now my guess is the girls will, well, it's not a guess, I know they're going to have your pouches or their pouches edged and joined together so that, you know, it's a pouch. I believe I will be leaving mine open, so when I put my binding on, or the trim or whatever it is that links these two pieces together, they will stay pretty much like this. They won't have that side seam, because my grand plan, let's just put this around the right way. My grand plan is to have these little, it is seriously on cue. I start filming and they start woofing. It must be around the time people start walking, so those hounds get the woof on. Now, where was I? I've lost my train of thought now. So that was the right way. That's the top coming down. Okay, so I've also torn myself 4 of these now. Same system. One will be embellished because it's what you see, and then there'll be a lining. So I've just kept it simple with the calico. Now the thing is, my whole rule for making this is don't make it too thick, girl. So what I want to do is pretend that really there's some embellishing on here, but it won't add too much more bulk. I just want to pin this because I'll be joining the sides of these little mini pouches so that they will concertina. I just want to place it all and make sure that it will work, because I guess one thing that might need to happen is an extension put on the outside piece. I'm hoping not. So I'm going to just assume that this side seams are closed. Thanks for hanging with me while I nut all this out. There was a few suggestions in previous videos of where you may have seen this sort of idea, so that was great. I haven't had a chance to go looking, mind you. I thought, oh, I think I've got it okay in my head. So that will come up. We've got to leave a little bit of air. You've got to have room for everything to expand. So I want to have a nice big top. So I can get my finger in there. See how it's a bit pouchy there? I just want that little bit extra. And then there'll be a stitch placed in there. So that's holding the front of those little pouches to the front. Seriously, that was a bird. If a bird sits on the table out the back, Lord help them, they get woofed. Now the bird's on the fence, so they've followed it to the fence. So that's now pinned back here. So as I showed in the first video, this will be just a little straight stitch line just to attach everything. There we go, everything in. Hey, see, we got the concertina. So you can put in there your bits and bobs. Let's say you're going away and you want to take some stitching with. So let's fill our pockets. Let's just see what capacity we have here. So we've got some morsels to put in. That's too big of a fabric. That's an ambitious stitching project. Here's some calico. Let's say we want to put that in there as well because we're doing some stitching. A reel of cotton. We might as well do a road test, eh? If this is a bad idea, we can pivot to something else. A pen. What else would we take? Some scissors. Do I have scissors? Some little scissors. They can go in there. So we've got some embellishments. We've got some cotton, some scissors. So a little pouch is full and then that comes over the top. It's going to work. It is going to work. Excellent. Oh, what a relief. So we can soldier on. And there's our little squishy bag to put our bits in. Oh, I love it. We could do a third, but I think I'm going to just leave that. A bag for your notions and your trims and your actual work. I like how that stands. That's pretty cool. So you could actually sit it on your desk and dip into it. Oh, love it when it works. And if it doesn't work, I love that too, because then I get to go thinking again. No, Pepper, stop it, Bandit. Gosh, let's just disconnect all this because now we can have a think about these pieces. Because what I'm thinking is I'm going to clad them with doily bits. Lacy bits and doily bits. Okay, so let's pop that aside. I'll come back to this in the next video where I start adding more stitches and more embellishments, and by then we'll know what the girls' videos are. I'm going to leave that sitting folded. Just helps it get that memory, so to speak. Now, we'll put the inner linings, we'll put two of them aside, and we've got these two to embellish. So, I need some doily bits. Let me just grab my box of doily bits, won't be a moment. Okay. So, what I mean by doily bits is I've got a container where whenever I get doilies that are old or had their day, or even not, I take the scissors and I cut out all of the motifs and I just stack them in one of these little tidy trays. I think I got it from Kmart. So let's get the container out of the way. Let's put that over there. I just want to clad them. So we need lots of pins. Pins, pins, pins. And it's a similar thing to what I did on this. Just layering up different elements to create a bit of a display. Let me put my phone on silent. So there we go. So I'm filming this Saturday morning. Been stitching all night, and you guys, let me grab my little diary here. You guys will be watching this on Thursday. So by Thursday, we'll have watched the girls' video and probably be racing off to our craft rooms to stitch. So all I'm going to do is just have a play. Now remembering this is a fold down here, so I might just give that a bit of support by lowering that one. And then what I'll do is just get these into position with some stitches, and that will be pretty much my pockets. My pocket facing, or my decorative face of the pockets. Seriously? Oh, to be a dog when you could just race around like a harebrained woofing. Happy days. Here we go. See, simple. Well, that's one that I've actually crocheted. We better keep that. There we go. Another one. We need something over here. Starting to see similar designs. You think you've got a lot of independent designs until you start layering them into a space and you think, oh, I don't have as many as I thought. There we go. How's that? What a quick way to embellish a space. So now, any of your favourite ones, keep up high so that you can see them. Okay, there we go. Thanks to everyone too that joined our Facebook group, that Tia and Susanna. Tia's from Calm Creations, her YouTube channel, and Susanna from Vintage Blend Studio. We had the harebrained idea that we'd create a Facebook group, and thanks to everyone that's come over and joined us, which is really good. It sort of came to be because we were getting messages of folks that would like to show us what they're doing, that they're following along with us, so to speak. And YouTube, if only they'd allow us to post a picture in the comments. Are you listening, YouTube people? If we could post a photo of the project that you're doing as you're following a YouTuber in the comments, it'd be fantastic. We could then see what's happening. We could answer questions. YouTube would probably then completely replace Facebook groups, I'd say, because we're right there watching. And then we can pop a picture up, ask a question, have a chat to the creator. That just would be super fantastic, I think. I think YouTube would probably give Facebook a hang of a nudge, because it'd just be, as you see it, you could chat. I think that's a great idea. I think YouTube need to hire me to give them great ideas, don't you? How conceited is that? Oh my goodness. There we go. I love the scrappiness of it. I love these bits dangling off. I'd say there's going to be bits hanging everywhere off this piece. I don't think I'll be edging that. I'm just going to stitch it. Now let's fold it in half. That one's got pink stain on it. I think that was from my let's try pink food colouring phase. That's better. You know what I might do is raise. No, it'll bump into the top fold if I'm not careful now. Just keep it down low, girl. Okay, I like that. So let's pop that one aside. Another pin. Okay, numerous small pins. Hang on, hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, no floppy bits. Excellent. Can't have any floppy bits. Let's start again. So some nice big ones. So pop them. Could do this all day. So I've gone quiet. Oh, these ones are still joined. Well, that was a bit lazy of me. I must have got a morsel from somewhere. So if anyone is ever worried about these falling apart once they're snipped, don't, because there's that many knots that goes into crocheting that even if it did fray a fraction, it will immediately hit a knot right near it. So it won't go anywhere. So you can chop with confidence. You can salvage all of these gorgeous little morsels and use them in your projects. I need something lighter. Getting a bit moody, dark here. Need something small there, something small there. Pull that down. I went to the optometrist yesterday. So for me, it's Friday. For you, it's Thursday. So maybe even my glasses, my new spectacles are back. I doubt it. He said 2 weeks, but I would be pretty confident they won't be far away. And I was brave, as in my selection of frames. I'm safe. I'm a shocker. I'm very safe in my selection of frames, and I have been always safe. But I was brave. I said to Susanna, I was actually chatting to her before I left for the appointment. I said, I'm just sort of like that. I wish that was in a pale colour. It's very pretty. If I put it there, it's never to be seen. I might put it there, might see it there. No, don't like that. Yeah, I said to Susanna, I'm going to be brave. I'm now a creative YouTuber, on-trend YouTuber. You know, all of the you know, you see these artistic people and you think, oh, wow, they even look artistic. I don't look artistic. I look like a chick from Brisbane, just a, you know, normal. And I said to her, I'm going to get some new glasses that have a splash of colour. I'm going to splash out. So I get in there, and I was a bit dubious of my optometrist because I was there last I don't even, I'm not going to tell you when I was there last. It was a shocker. You sort of think, oh, it's been a while. And then when the optometrist goes through your file and goes, yes, I haven't seen you since. It's like, oh, true. That has been a while. So anyway, I was a bit worried because last time I was there, it was a bit hard to pick a frame that was very boring. And I left feeling very underwhelmed by my selection. So I nearly didn't book with him. I thought, oh gosh, maybe it's time to go to one of these hip, up and coming new pop-up optometrist stores that just look so flashy in the local shopping centre. He's in the shopping centre as well, and he's got a little hole in the wall. He's been there ever since I can remember, ever since I've been in this area anyway, and probably longer. And I thought, no, he's a little guy. Don't go to some of those big chains. They're putting all the little guys out of business. Well, I walked in there and we were a few minutes early. And the range of glasses, the frames, beautiful. There was colour everywhere. And I thought, oh my goodness, now I'm going to have to be true to my word. Susanna's going to hold me accountable. Did I get some flashy, colourful glasses? So I started immediately trying them on. Too bad if I've got a major condition coming, like, you know, they find something terrible with my eyes. Luckily they didn't, but I'm there just all about the frames. And there was red ones and blue ones and orange ones and pink ones, and I was picking them up and I had them on my snout so quickly. And so they looked horrific, some of them. And I kept turning to my husband. He's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm going to be bold and brave and pick something really flashy. And the more I tried on, that bold, brave, it was like decreasing. So I'm about here. I started here and I'm about here. I did do well. So I picked a pair of bold, flashy, brave glasses. I was wearing I wear a lot of colour because I wear, what do they call them? Caftans. So I often just have a little black singlet on or a little white singlet and then throw over the top a caftan. Now you got to remember, Brisbane, Queensland is hot. And being that I'm at that age, I get hot. So I just started wearing singlets and caftans probably about 5-6 years ago. And they're great because there's nothing clinging to me really. So, yeah, love them. And I just pick every colour under the sun. I don't even care anymore. I just like, it's my splash of colour. But my face has always been conservative. So, I'm wearing a turquoisey bottle greens and blue caftans. So I thought I'm going to at least wear my favourite colour so the optometrist gets a bit of a feel for my personality, so to speak. And he's a young lad and he was so sweet. And he was just excited that someone was being brave, because I even said to the optometrist, I nearly didn't come because last time I was here, there wasn't a lot of choice. And she said, yeah, she said at Christmas, we just felt like we needed to freshen up. So we brought on board all these new companies and the frames sold really well. And I'm like, oh, that's just great. Absolutely great. So they must have felt how I felt, even though I was there a year or so earlier. Anyway, by the time we finished, he was having a ball, because I'd be like, no, too brave. No, that's good. And I think once he told me the face shape I needed, you know, the shape of the glasses that I needed, it was easy. And then he just started hunting them out because he could see what was the best shape for my face. So I ended up making a selection, and they're a turquoise frame. I'll show them to you when I get them. And you'll go, gee, that's bold. Or you'll say, you could have been bolder. So it's a turquoise frame. But at the side where the handlebars are that go over your ears, they start to drift into a soft pink, which is probably the safe colour for me. So I think they're fantastic. Now, I did splurge and I bought 2 pairs. Now, I'm hedging my bets. I've got the artistic You're a YouTuber flashy ones. If I find that they're just too much and I only wear them occasionally, I've got and they're like got a plasticky resin frame, that sort of feel. The second pair, because you got the second pair half price, and I'm like, what the hang? I will do a similar colour tone, but it's a finer frame and softer version of those 2 colours. So once again, it's that turquoisey colour. I could really do with a thingy on my finger. My finger's getting sore, guys. And I did grab one when I left Burrum because they're up there. I just don't know where I put them. Oh, I know. Hang on. I've got to get it. My finger's tender. Bear with me. Yep, I got it. I got it. A little silicone protective. So where was I? So I've got 2 pairs. And I had planned when I was heading there that I would get 1 pair of transitional lenses. And because where we're moving to is a beach town, so the sun, even just looking out of my house towards the lake that's to our side boundary, the glare, oh my goodness. So I thought, well, if I got transitional lenses, I remember Gaz having them years ago, back in the 90s when they first came out. He was working out on the footpath with Telstra. So he really liked them because he was in and out of his van all day, changing glasses, needing glasses. So he went transitional lenses. But I didn't like it when he went out, say, in the garden and then walked straight back inside. There was that time frame where the lens would have to change, and sometimes it just wouldn't change as much as it should. And I just didn't like that look inside the house, like you're half wearing glasses and they were like this washed sepia colour. So I've never really thought about it again. And I thought, well, if I'm up at Burrum with a bit of a glare thing happening and I'm in and out of the house with my doggies, that probably would be handy. So I went with the full intention of getting these transition from daylight to dark glasses. And of course technology has changed. There was heaps of colours to pick from. And I don't know, I just couldn't do it. So my sunnies, which I've had for years, have a very early prescription lens in them. And I've never got it updated because it's for distance. And I only wear them when I'm outside, usually driving or just walking along the beach. So I don't really need close up. But now I'm finding when I'm in the work van and the husband's driving, of course, we've got our sunnies on, but I'm the passenger and I'm now on a device called a phone. That's how long these glasses haven't had an update, these sunglasses. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh, these transitions, what if they don't transition right? I'm not going to be happy. And of course, when I got the price of the glasses, I was like, oh my goodness, if these aren't right, I'm not going to wear them. It's bad enough I've got a bold colour to learn to love. And the more I was looking at them, the more I was loving them. So I thought, nah, I'm going to wear these. That's okay. We've moved past that being bold business. And then this transition, and he showed me all the lenses, and you could get pinks and yellows, and oh, goodness sakes, it's changed so much. Anyway, and he goes, they quickly change, but if there's a residue of bright light, they may not. So that's that whole issue again. And then it dawned on me that my chair where I stitch of a morning is in the warm, bright light, and it's the best light I've ever had in a house, But it's bright. And I thought, I'm going to be sitting there having my morning coffee looking like I'm wearing sunglasses, the very thing that I do not like in those particular, transition things. Gaz loves them. I don't. Anyway, long story. I said to the chat, if I bring my sunnies in, which still have a prescription that is old, because now I've noticed that when I'm the passenger wearing them, and I pick up my phone to maybe write an email, check an email, I have to take them off my nose and put my normal glasses on to read the phone, which tells me the script in them is old. So I'm going to drop back in my sunnies and get them to update the lens. And that will, allow me to at least read the phone while I'm a passenger wearing them in the car. So they're not technically going to be much of assistance when I step out of the house at Burrum into the bright light to pat my puppy dogs. I will have to put sunglasses on, which I won't. Oh, gosh, I tell you, that's why I thought transitions might be I'm lazy. I'm barely able to put a hat on. I'm shocking. I barely put shoes on. Oh, now I'm telling you all my secrets. I'm a farm kid. It's, there was always mud on the farm. Putting shoes on was just a palaver because you'd only walk, 100 metres down the paddock to the cultivation, and Dad may have just had the irrigation sprays on vegetables, and you'd have muddy shoes. So you were just always barefoot. And it has still continued, which is a shocker. But I love it. I hate wearing shoes, especially inside. I'm not much better outside. I do put them on outside because Bandit's such a buffhead. When he jumps and carries on like a 2-bob watch, he often jumps on my foot with his big buffy foot, and then there's a claw in that foot, and yeah. So I do tend to put my shoes on more when I go outside because of Buffhead, and he's bouncing. Actually, you'll be watching this Thursday. I will actually be at the vet by Thursday with Peppa Peach as she is getting spayed. So there you go. That's what I'll be doing today when you're watching. But Saturday, going over to Kevin and Marianne's for dinner, taking a bit of stitching. But we haven't seen them for a while. I tend to not be able to relax into stitching if I haven't seen them for a while. We just talk. But if it's a regular catch-up, we see them every other Saturday, well then we both sit and stitch. But when we haven't seen them for a month, it's just too much to say. Chitter-chat. And I'd say tonight will be that. So all I'm doing, this is riveting, isn't it? I'm sure you guys are sitting there stitching. You tell me you are. It's so good to see everyone's work. The Facebook group is awesome. Even the Roxy girls have a Facebook group. So if you've just found one of us YouTube girls stitching and you're looking at this Roxy prompt and project, go to the Roxy girls. They've got a Facebook group. It's fantastic. Lots of great work there. Thousands of members now. It's awesome. Our group's very small. I don't know if it'll get as big as that. I think there's a bit of a following for those girls. Very talented. Okay. We launched last weekend a post that was really cool. What did you buy for the week? You know how YouTubers do the hauls of what we all buy, so you can see what, you know, what we think of things and what caught our eye and why. Gives you a bit of an idea of, you know, what you should look for if you're building a stash. Well, we posted a post on the weekend of what did you buy? Show us what you bought. It was great. So you can put links in there to the Etsy stores or the websites that you shopped from, so the rest of us can go, oh, I might just go for a little looky. Got a few things sitting in shopping carts because of it. I haven't yet done it, but it was pretty cool seeing other places that you guys shop. There's so many suppliers out there, so to have some new ones pop up is really good. Okay. So I'm just doing rows. You could follow each doily. Pick a doily, any doily, and stitch around it is another way you can do it. I'll see how it feels. If it feels like it's, you know, flicking around a little bit, I probably will come through and do that as well. At the moment, the rows get rid of the pins. So I guess let's call this your invisible stitch, just getting rid of the pins. And then I'll come back and have a bit of a tug of it all. And if it feels like it's a bit whoopy in places, which I suspect it will, we'll then go round all of the, maybe the doilies that are sitting on the top, and that'll help anchor the ones below as well. Oh, those pins. Come on. I haven't had a chance to look for bits and bobs to embellish the front cover yet, other than what I pulled out in that one video and put in this little tray, you know, the one yo-yo, those few little pieces. So I'll have to have a little rummage this week, because I would say, guessing, I don't know for sure because I'm filming it in advance, that the girls will start stitching and embellishing that front panel to our pouches. So I don't even think I've got buttons here. See, oh gosh, it's going to be tricky until my craft room all comes together at the new house, the new location. I've got bits spread all over the countryside, 4 hours apart my craft rooms are. Buttons, for example, just popped into my brain. Do I have buttons still here in Brisbane? Just glancing around the room, like the room is pretty sparse. I even took a chair up to sit on, so there's a chair missing from my table. Goodness me. I started following the doily, so got sidetracked there. Straight lines, girl. Just running straight across. Get them tacked down, then focus on a doily. So I can't wait to get my new spectacles. My husband calls them goggles. Gee, it annoys me, that word. I don't know why. Where's my goggles, he says. They're glasses. No, they're goggles. Oh my goodness. Oh, we had a Barney in the car park. Well, it's not a Barney. We don't really fight. We sort of have grumpy words where we don't use our big words. We just grump. Everything was going really well. And I started, I don't know, doing something. Oh, I was chatting to Susanna. It's Susanna's fault. I was chatting to Susanna, and we were coming and going from a bit of a chat because her son had rang in, something had happened my end, and so we would just hang up, keep going, come back, hang up. Then it was lunchtime and I sent a message, I'm going to make a sandwich. She'd gone and got some, I think she was eating fried rice from the previous night. I'm like, yep, give me 10, give me 5, we'll be back. So on and off we were chatting through the day. Hour here, half an hour there, doing our homework. We have so much stitching to do that at least we can sit and stitch together. Anyway, I said to her, I'm going to get glasses. So at 2 o'clock, we need to be in the car and heading to the shopping centre. And I said to my husband, who's sitting there beside me on the couch, he was, I don't know what he was doing some emails or something. I said, keep an eye on the time because I can't see the time real easily while I'm yapping to Susanna. We need to be in the car at 2 o'clock. So at 2:05, he says, we better go. I'm like, oh, okay, must be about 1:45. No, it's 2:05. The appointment is at 2:30 for me, 3 o'clock for Gaz. So I said, all right, Susanna, I better go. And I finally hung up. Another 3 minutes of yapping probably went by. I looked at the time. I'm like, Gaz, what are you doing? So I'm running through the house, grabbing handbags, grabbing shoes. Where's my phone? Where's this? I wanted to do a bit of grocery shopping because we had no milk, no bread. So, and I was hoping to get to a really nice butcher that's in that shopping centre. So the plan was to park up that far end where he is, walk down to the optometrist through the shopping centre. It's probably about 500 metres. And then work our way back to the butcher and home. So I dug out an esky and I was ready, but not ready. Does that make sense? So when Gaz says, oh, we better go, and I realised that, where's my stitch line? I realised that it was now 2:15. I was a little bit, what's the word? Frustrated that the job he had to say what time it was not completed to my expectations. So we're in the van. We took the van too because he decided he needed chlorine for the pool. We've got back to Brisbane. We've got a pool at our Brisbane house and it's as green as green. Due to all the rain, the chlorine has just been absolutely depleted due to all these storms that Brisbane's had. And it's a bloomin' duck pond. So he's like, oh, I better go to the pool shop and start buying chlorine and flocking and all this stuff he needs to put in it to pull it back, which will happen within the week. It'll be crystal clear again. That still freaks me out. I don't know how that happens. But anyway, because I know it was green. And then I look at it and it's crystal clear. And I'm like, well, it's the same water. But anyway, beside the point. So we're in the van and he's like, oh, I need my chlorine thing. So now it's 20 past. And I'm like, we're going to be late. You didn't tell us the right time. So I started snapping. I was frustrated. We can't park up near the butcher now. We'll never walk through that shopping centre and be on time. So I had a crack. He didn't say much. Poor old Gaz. He didn't say much. So we're hooting down the road in the van, the work van. I can hear the empty drum for the chlorine rolling around in the back. We had small talk. It was civil. We get to the shopping centre and we're trying to remember where they were, which entrance. There's two. And there's a car park in front and the road going in, and you either go that way or that way. That way, I was sure they were. That way, we weren't 100%. Maybe they were. So we're like, are they near the post office or are they in that banking line where all the banks are? So a debate of that ensued. And in my logical head, I thought, well, we'll hedge our bets. We'll park in the middle because we don't know. He wanted to park in the usual spot. And I'm like, no, park in the middle because we can't agree on where they are. At least we've saved 50 metres of running because we're going to be late. as I tack that on the end of the sentence. We're going to be late. Whose fault's that? I didn't say that, but I insinuated it. So we come into the car park and I'm going, go left. He goes to go right. And I'm like, no, go left, go left. We're going to be late. Let's park as close as we can, but still hedge our bets. Yeah, but I like to park over here. I'm like, I don't care. We're going to be late. So by now, I reckon he's getting a little bit, geez, woman, but still not saying anything. And I said, well, look, my appointment's first, so just let me out right here and I'll race in and then you park your van wherever you want and come in when you're ready. No, we're going to go over there where you want. So we're driving into that section and we're in a big van. So I like to park away a little because it's a big van. It's like obnoxious. And I don't want to upset anyone in the car park because it's hanging out or, you know. So I'm like, go down the end where no one is, so we got space. No, I want to park here. I'm like, go down there because there's no one there. All right, and he's getting shitty. He's, I don't want to swear. He's getting a little frustrated with my instructions. It's pretty funny. Anyway, we park. And I'm like, you can always let me out and repark it. No, we're here now. We're in this spot. We're here now. So he's he's complying, but grisly, you know. It was so funny. So by the time we park the van and we're out, where's the keys? You've got the keys. Where's the case that holds my phone? I don't know. That's your responsibility. So there's all this tick, 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 tick going on. And I had the case that holds his phone in my handbag. It's in my handbag. Where's the health insurance card? Where's the medical card? I said, they're in my purse. It's all right. We got it. Let's go. Let's go. So doors are being slammed. And I turned around and looked at the van, and there's probably about a foot and a half of the van hanging out of the car park space. And I said, oh my goodness, look at the van. It's hanging out too far. Someone's going to hit it. We're going to come back and they've coat hanged themselves on the side of our van. No, it's fine. I'm right on the line. I'm legally parked. And I said, yeah, but your bum's hanging out. That's not technically legally parked. Yes, it is. And he's like, Gaz does not get riled. He is the most quiet, gentle-spoken man. I'm the lunatic. And he's really starting to get, I think, agitated that I'm badgering him. Do this, do that, do that. We're here. We're going to be late. Oh, my gosh. And then any question he asks me, it's like, it's going to be, well, you were yapping too much and you should have got this. But I had it covered, you see, so that he would... Have we got this? Yes. Where's the esky for the meat? It's here. But we can't get it because we're running late because we're now here and the butcher's up the other end. So this is all happening in the car park now as we're walking. Got to the point where I looked around. I thought, there's people. Just stop. Just stop. This is gonna carry on right to the door. So silence. There's like 20 metres between us. He's 20 metres behind. I see the van as I look back to see that he's coming. What do I do with my needle then? There it is. So we're stomping through the car park in pure silence after I gave him a lipping about the van's butt hanging out. He's not going to move it because he's parked where he was told to park when he wanted to park elsewhere. So through the shopping centre we go. There was a lovely doggy at the front door. That sort of brought some nice thoughts into my head instead of stomping thoughts. We get into the optometrist and I think, oh gosh, this optometrist is going to now meet these pair that have just had a discussion about numerous random topics. And he was so nice. Hello, how are you? Like instant energy of nice from him. He was just lovely. And we just totally diffused. It was like it all drained away. Was it, you know? And I said, I'm going to be bold and I'm going to pick some brightly coloured frames. And Gaz laughed, and that was it. It was all over. It was, and we actually had a really fun time in there. And then while Gaz went in to get his eyes checked, I scooted down the hallway to Woolworths and picked up a few little bits and pieces, because there was just nothing in the house when we got back from Burham. So, yeah, come back full of bits and bobs in my shopping trolley from Woolies, and Gaz walked straight out of the door, ready to go. And he picked a gorgeous little frame, a little bit bold, I must say. It's grey, but it's boldish. And I saw it on the desk when I come out, and he'd gone in, and the young fella said, oh, this is what Gaz has picked. I'm like, oh, yeah? I said, oh, he's being a little bold too. And he sort of grinned. He says, yeah, a little bit. As bold as it gets. So anyway, pushing the trolley. He's come out. We're walking back to the van. And I said to him, oh, I'm over it. I've got enough bits and bobs to keep us going from Woolies. We don't need to go to the butcher. I'm going to go back anyway with my sunglasses in the next day or so. And he says, oh, we'll go and get the chlorine now for the pool. And I said, yeah, we'll need a few. So that's good, because I can dodge back with my sunnies, and they can swap those lenses over. That was it. It was as if nothing happened. Ow. Ow. Ouch. Well, that was a good one. Okay, we've got a bleeder. Could someone get the first aid kit? Oh my goodness. Susanna, it was your fault we were late for the optometrist. The fact that I was also participating in the call doesn't matter. It was stitching. It was stitching. Lucky Gaz didn't point that out. That would have been fired me up. It was because you were stitching we were late. Well, no, you were meant to tell us when to hang up so that we wouldn't be late. But you were busy playing your dinosaur game. Oh my goodness, it was funny. Anyway. No, it's okay. You can put the first aid kit away, guys. It's okay. Going to be fine. I suppose I better toddle off. I just looked up. I can't believe I've spent an hour. Ow. That was okay. It's okay. That one didn't penetrate. Now I've lost my thread. It's because I'm stitching into the centre now of this piece. It's sort of... It's a bit, I'm reaching in and not being able to see the, what did Gaz say to me in the van? Oh, now that you've got your prescription updated, it appears that the script here to thread a needle is no longer good enough, hence why you often see I take my glasses off and I thread my needle and I bring it right up to my nose. I've got 20/20 vision right at my nose without glasses on. So she picked up on that, actually, and she said, oh, this is fuzzy. Up here is really good. I said, yeah. I said, I need that fixed. And she said, yep, no worries. So she's taken my 20/20 vision back down to here. So I should be able to technically thread a needle on camera back down at the bench here. So it definitely had changed. And I said to her, I do a lot of sewing and I'm taking my glasses off to thread a needle and bringing it right up to my nose. So my field of vision has faded at a slight distance. Yeah, anyway, so they adjusted all that and hopefully that will be sorted, which will be good. And Gaz, this was where I was heading with this comment, he says in the van, maybe you won't prick your finger as much now that you can see. Oh my goodness. And my instinct was, yeah, you might be right. But then I thought about it. I'm like, no, it just happens. It's just fingers get in the way. So it just happens. All right, I'm going to finish this thread off. We're going to have a quick look at what these look like inside that cover. And then my homework will be to finish stitching all these down. Actually, when I do the lining, there'll be another lot of invisible stitches go through. They'll give a little quilted look all the way through, just with cotton. So actually I might put that there. Let's see the thickness. That there. Get this one. Put its little lining in. So that's the two of them. Now I'll get our little cover. They're going to be attached there. Are they? Are they not? No, they're not. They're going to be there. Need to turn it around, which I will in a minute. They've got a little bit thicker, but I think it'll still work. I think it will work. Okay, so then that will attach to there. Just bear with me, guys, as I just pretend that we've stitched all these concertina-y bits together. There'll be a bit of stitching there, which attaches it to there. Sorry, to there, those two. And then those two attached to there, the cover. And then of course there'll be side seams as well on those little lace pouches. So let's just put a pin there and pretend we've just stitched the side seams together. That is attached to the cover. The second pouch gets attached. And then over here, the question will be, and that's a bit out of whack, but anyway, we'll sort that another time. Will we need still those pieces of fabric to create a gusset? Or will they open enough up, these little lace internal pouches, to get our mitts in there? You know what I mean? Is it bulk we don't need? Possibly. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, I think there's still, we were going to fold that in half and put it inside that lace pocket so that it opened up and gave us a little bit of breathing room. It certainly has made it bulky, but I think it's worked. There we go. We can certainly get bits in there. I don't think I'm going to put the gussets in, you know, because it might make it more open, where this still feels like you could tuck things in there and they're not going to fall out. I'm tempted not to put the gussets in, to be honest. Love how it sits open. You could literally have that on your desk. And then we've got the option of doing something on this section up here to hold some pins and needles for your project, like a little spot to tuck some things. Yeah. I think I got it upside down, the outside. Yeah, I do, but that's all right. It'll still work. This is actually the flap, so I've got it in the wrong way. That needs to be switched, but that's okay. That's really good. And in you go. Look at that, luscious. Oh, beautiful. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you alone now, and I'm going to be able to stitch this little pouch internal piece. Look at that. Love it. Love it, love, love it. Okay. You guys have a lovely day. By now, we probably know what the girls want us to do next on our project. My guess is embellishing, but who knows? They might have a surprise for us. In the meantime, I shall go off and stitch these lacy bits onto these panels like I have there. I'll definitely come back and just do some, see how that's flicking up there? I'll do some extra stitching where I just focus on the doily itself and whiz around in a circle. Won't hurt. All right, guys, have a lovely day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.